let's talk about my relationship with God as a 24-year-old that just started going to church for the first time this year. Dollar for every time I was told, like, how can you start going to church when you live with your boyfriend? Like, how can you do this when that's not, like, the Christian thing to do? Say that in my eyes, no one is perfect. My parents were actually born and raised very, like, traditional Catholic, and they actually kind of strayed away from the church, which is kind of why my sister and I didn't really grow up with it as much. For me personally, the basis of why I'm a Christian and why I believe in it is because I believe in the core values, and I think it's easy to get hung up on the little details. Personal testimony was moving to a place like New York. I would say I was always a Christian, but I never really consistently went to church. And then I moved to a city like New York, which is just so chaotic, and it's great, but it also focuses on a lot of the superficial things that I don't think actually fulfill you. But money, the wealth, the status, seeing that really for the first time in my life made me take a step back and like want to go to church, because I'm like, I need to ground myself. I think there's so many like goals and deadlines we set for ourselves in the life we have on earth, and then sometimes I just have to sit back and like actually remind myself, like, what's the reason you're doing this? I always prayed, but I didn't really go to church, and there was so much because I never went to like a CCD or like a Sunday school that I didn't really know. I've always been a believer in Jesus, and that's something that will never change, but I wanted to actually educate myself. It is true, like the Jesus glow is so real, because you know at the end of the day so much is like actually out of your control. I also think there's this big misconception that you can't have questions or doubts and be a believer, and I don't think that's true. I actually think it's healthy to question things, and that's what makes your faith stronger. Like, having faith is like not having all the answers, but still choosing to believe. This is not to say I agree with everything the church has always said and done. I mean, I actually go to a non-denominational church called Fount in New York City, and I really like it for that reason. This hits the right audience, because I always get nervous to speak on topics like this, because I know it's so personal to everyone, and I never want to seem like I'm offending someone. I just kind of wanted to talk on my own beliefs